Welcome to the Wine Brothers Podcast. If you like what you're listening to, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Wine Brothers Podcast, on Twitter at Wine Brothers Pod, or support us on Patreon at Wine Brothers Podcast. Thank you very much. Hello, Michael. How
Hey,
are you
John.
doing this evening?
Good. Nailed that intro, buddy. That was hot.
Thank you. I've been working on my pipes. I
Good.
drank a lot of milk before this.
Oh, excellent. Nice to get a little thickness in the chords.
That's right. The milk, popping my peas, and doing everything they told me in audio school.
Me, my, mo.
How's Winery living?
It's pretty good, man. I've been getting home at a reasonable hour now, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
only
the
got.
only reason-
Go ahead. I got 3 more wines on the skins right now.
Oh, wow.
Extended maceration, so we're still popping a pump over every once in a while, but it's a lot better. We've just been racking like crazy.
That's exactly what we did today. We did our last pressing on Monday, and I racked 15,000 liters today, maybe more. No,
liters. Okay.
No,
yeah, I don't know
three,
what we did. I mean,
three
yesterday
5600s and 319s essentially.
That's pretty good.
1900 liters.
That's pretty good. So
Some was off bentonite, some was off fermentation.
Oh wow! You've got stuff bentonited already?
Yep, rosé.
Oh my God in heaven, that's crazy.
We're trying to bottle before Christmas so we can get more in.
Yeah, I've got a client that wants 2 things bottled before Christmas, but other than that, I mean, I'm going to get everything bentonited before Christmas. At least that's the plan. But no other bottling before Christmas.
So the other thing I'm working on before Christmas is I'm trying to do inline cleaning, because all of our pharmaceutical grade tanks, the mirror finish on the inside, I feel like it's probably worse taking scrub brushes to it than it would be just to get a couple of spray balls that can fit into each style of our tank, and then pumping caustic, and then following that up with a rinse and then sanitizer. I think that'd be a much...
That's what we do. Yeah.
What cost are you just using soda ash?
No, we have liquid caustic.
Okay. What kind of liquid caustic are you using?
I don't know. We get it from Clean Edge Chemical, and it's really good stuff.
Okay.
I'll look it up for you tomorrow.
That's fine. Is that what they call the...
I think it's sodium hydroxide. It's NaOH. Pure
Yes.
NaOH. And then we dilute it in water.
I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure they just call that soda ash when it's powdered form or whatever.
It's not powder, it's liquid.
But isn't that what they call it when it's powder?
I don't know.
I don't know. I might have just made that whole term up. But yeah, essentially that's what I would get. Something like that. We used another thing at...
I think the soda ash might be NaOH in powder form, isn't it? And
I believe so,
in liquid
yeah.
form, it's caustic.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do before Christmas, because the amount of wine we're running through that place, it's just... we can't be climbing in that many tanks every day.
All right,
Getting too old for this rigs.
Sodium carbonate is soda ash, I guess. And caustic is caustic soda. Let's see. I don't know. I thought it was just straight NaOH.
Well, I think sodium carbonate, when you put it in solution, turns into NaOH, if I'm not mistaken. It could be wrong.
Okay. Well, anyway, it'll burn the living hell out of your skin, but it takes like about 30 seconds until it starts actually burning. So you've got about 30 seconds to rinse it. We always wear gloves.
Yeah, one time I was at this abandoned house in the middle of the city, and this crazy guy poured it on my hand and made me hold it there.
Nice movie reference.
And then 3 hours later, I found out it was myself.
Thanks for ruining the movie for all of our listeners.
Spoiler alert.
You say that before you spoil the movie, by the way.
Oh.
So, John, what I would do is Is your power washer able to take hot water?
I was just gonna run it through the spray ball. Oh, we don't have. I don't use a power washer on a daily basis.
Oh, well, that would be something I would encourage if you could. But what I have, yeah, they make really cheap spray ball heads that are pretty decent that I use for cleaning barrels. But for my heavy duty cleaning, where I need to blast tartrates off a wall, we hook our power washer up, and we have a four. It's a 4-jet head that rotates 360 degrees on a gearing system, and it hooks up to our power washer. And so basically, we use this for barrel cleaning. It's our barrel washer. But when I was there, I've reappropriated it for tank cleaning as well. So it fits through a 2-inch port, no problem. And now I have a lashing system where I tie it on so there's a good connection onto the tank so it doesn't spray out. And I just power wash for 10 minutes with hot water. I rinse, I do a caustic cycle, then I hit it with hot water, and then with the power washer again. Basically, all of our tank rinsing is done with the power washer. And then we go over it with peroxy.
Is there any reason why you couldn't just use the caustic in that same spray ball?
Because it hooks up to the power washer only. We have a different spray ball. We have a different spray ball that is used for the cleaning agents, and we just use our pump for that.
Gotcha. See, that would be my goal for the tanks with the automated pump overs on them. I would just hook up the spray balls. I want to get. We've got the the fittings that have they have a thread on them and then a gasket in between.
A flared head, a flared fitting.
Yeah, I need to get a spray ball that can fit onto those.
Or you could just get one that sits in there. Like they make, I think it's Winemaker's Depot. Look at us. I'm plugging all these places that aren't giving us anything. But
well, they'll be sponsors shortly. We've got talks with pretty much everybody.
We're in talks.
We're in talks. So anything you hear us drop, the money's going to be coming soon. But the reason I wanted to use the spray ball on those systems is so I'd be cleaning my pump over systems simultaneously.
Right. So this is what you want to do then. You get your short hose up top, hooked to your spray ball head, and that can sit down right through the head hole of your tank.
Yeah.
Right?
You're still missing it all because the way that our pump over systems work is there's a pump on the tank that's hooked to the tank, and then there is a pipe that goes up and then through the center of the top of our tank.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's inside the tank, the pipe?
Yes. It goes through the top into the side of the tank, and then the thing
I thought it was like our pump over pipes that are outside of the tank.
Well, our pump over pipes are outside of the tank, but they go into the inside of the tank.
Okay.
Through the top of the tank.
So you need something that will fit onto a flared head connection.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay,
and then,
so here's what you do. They make a tri-clamp fitting that goes to flare fit.
That's exactly what I want, because then I can use it on my other tanks that have a little different pump over system, and then I can do it that way as well.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll take some pictures of the 2 spray ball heads that we have at work. One of them I purchased, and there's no special bearing in it, but it sprays pretty well. And then the other one that we have is just about the size of a softball with perforations in it. So that one doesn't shoot as much pressure. The other one, because it's a long rod with a small ball at the end, it really steps down from the 2-inch hose that we have. You have to use a reducer, but the pressure is so much higher in that one that it gives a decent scrubbing. So from a cost benefit standpoint, the spray ball head is very inexpensive. You're looking at between $12 for the cheapest one we have, $29 for the perforated softball head, and then $89 if you want one with a little bit of length to it, to the shaft. And I mean, they're really invaluable. I think, yeah, way better than a scrub brush. And then, it's hands free. You can do that. You can set it. You can throw some caustic in the bottom of your tank, throw some hot water in there, run your pump over system, and then walk away and go do something else while that's going.
Yeah. And now we've got 140 degree hot water. So
nice.
That's doing most of the cleaning lately.
It really does a good job. Like that, the hot water, I mean, we use our hot water all the time, and it totally helps keep your winery cleaner. It's unbelievable, the benefits.
Yeah. I want to get this inline system set up, start doing it, and then I want to start plating. I want to do a quick, quality control check to see how effective we're being.
I wonder if you could rent. They have those bioluminescence measures, right? Where you just take a swab, you stick it in the bioluminescence meter, and it tells you, it reads off ATP.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, those things are so cool. I really wanted one to see how clean we were keeping our place.
Yeah, I
could brag. I'd be like, reading was barely anything, so.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to need a deeper reading.
That's right. Somebody's got to go down there. Oh, man. That's awesome. So,
the other great idea I had today at work was we had a leaky sample valve, and I took a dry erase marker, the cap to it, stuck it right up there, fit like a cork.
Awesome. So with our leaky ones, we have breather bungs, right?
Yeah.
They have a long, skinny silicone piece that goes through the breather bung. It's 2 pieces. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen yours, but I do. I'm envisioning this.
Our breather bungs are silicone. They have 4 drilled ports, or 4 drilled holes in them, and then there's a center hole, and the second piece fits in between the center hole, and you kind of pull it through. Well, that cone-shaped piece that slides through there fits perfectly in our sample valves. So I've had a couple that have leaked, maybe that had a bad O-ring, and you don't know it until your tank is freaking full up to the sample valve. So I've had to ram those in there, and it makes a big difference. And I've started putting them in all of our sample valves because, you rinse them out, but the fruit flies still like to get up in there, but not when there's a thing stuck in them.
Yeah, so. I didn't realize that we use the same exact barrel bungs as you.
Oh, the breather bungs? Yeah.
I heard skinny silicone. Ours have like a cone on the end of them.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I know.
It's just my grasp of the English language, I guess. Yeah, so, back to cleaning. I was going to talk about that power washing head that we have, right? That is made by a company called Aqua Tools, and as far as I can tell...
Yep, I emailed them for the sponsorship.
As far as I can tell, that one is the least expensive on the market. It's $2,500.
I'm actually going to write that down right now.
Yeah, go for it. But it's invaluable to our cleaning process. We would be climbing in tanks every day, power washing. I put it in everything, John. I have tanks that don't have man-weight doors in them. Like, I have big cubes.
Yeah.
I lower it down into those because it just does such a good job, and you can just walk away, and it just power washes the heck out of these things and blows the tartrates right off. I mean, part of that is our power washer, which is just a beast. And when you run it with hot water, it makes it just a killing machine. So,
the finish on our tanks, I don't know what the inside of your tanks look like, but we get hot water and the tartrates just fall down the sides.
Right, because they're high polish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is
and
really nice.
That's awesome. So you really, just ask them to spend the money, man. If you can get them to do it, and get a power washer that hooks up to this thing, because What are the port sizes on all of your big tanks? Are they 2 inch or 2 inch?
So for the ones with the automatic
1.5
pump
inch?
overs, we'll be using 2-inch lines, but those will I'll be able to seal the whole tank up, and it will be able to pump itself over.
Right, I understand. And
The newer tanks, I'm gonna have to figure out if I'm going to have something that goes into the bottom racking port, or if I'm gonna try to put something through the top where the airlock.
sometimes you have to do both. What is the size of your racking bells?
It's a
Are they
2-inch.
2 inch? They're 2 inch.
2-inch, yeah. The
Okay.
hole is 2 inches, yeah.
So this power washing head that we have will fit in a 2 inch. The Aqua Tools one fits through a 2 inch, no problem. It will not fit through 1.5 inch. I'm sad to say, but it will fit in 2 inch.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, man, it will make your life 1,000 times easier.
Yeah, well, we'd have to buy a power-
I used to have to climb up and shimmy up into these tanks and scrub them, and those days are over.
Yeah, that's where I'm about there. I'm like, this is ridiculous. There
Are better ways to do it, especially when you get on the scale that you're at. So, and this is one of those ways.
We've been growing by about 30% of winemaking each year I've been there. So, we've doubled about twice since I started working there. And it's
Right.
just too much.
And I'm sure when you first started, you weren't even clean in place, and now everything's clean in place. So, I will tell you that they also make other spray ball heads from other companies that are ungodly expensive, like in the $5,000 to $10,000 range for these.
That's
things.
the one I'm going to make him buy.
Well, the worst part is these guys were like, I put in an email, right, and oh my god, all of a sudden, like 3 weeks later, some guy just shows up, and he was like, I was in your area, and I was like, no, you weren't. I knew he wasn't in our area. I guess he was in Boston, and he drove the 8 hours down to us. I was like, if I knew how much it was, you should have called, man. You should have called, and I would have told you to save the trip. But yeah. The thing he wanted to sell us was either 8 or 10 grand. And then he's like, and you get such and such an hours, and once a year you'll have to service it, and the service is $1,500. And I was like, what? Once a year we'll have to service it?
That's insane.
And he's like, don't worry, we'll give you another one while we take your other one to service it so that you have one to work with. I was like, that's not the point, man. That's an ongoing expense. But, I mean, they're nice. The one thing that he was like, yeah, it'll do up to 600 PSI or something. And I was like, wow, that's wonderful. And I said, does it hook up to a power washer? He's like, you could probably rig something up. But he's like, normally we use a pump. And I was like, what pump is pumping at 600 PSI?
He's probably on large scale wineries,
Oh, he's a chemical. It's a chemical company.
Oh,
like
okay.
most of their stuff is chemical pharmaceutical stuff. So I have no idea what kind of pumps that they're using in that industry. Our pumps are all made to be gentle on the wine, but they must have some monster pump, like something out of with a hydraulic engine of some sort, just something crazy that's just a piston pump or something that must have ungodly amounts of pressure.
Imagine the hoses.
Oh yeah, how's the hose gonna withstand that kind of pressure? Especially when there's a step down at the ball head. The pressure must be unbelievable. Or they're using fixed lines. Maybe they're using fixed lines.
Yeah, my peristaltic is rough on the hoses. I keep having to replace them. They're getting holes in them.
Oh yeah. You must have to have some sort of blow off valve in line in the system. Can you set the pressure brake?
The pump has its these large cylinders that are on top of the inlet and outlet, and
Right.
There's a sensor. When the pressure gets too high, the pump will actually slow down.
Okay. Do they have a brake? Like, can you set the sensitivity?
I just stopped cleaning with the peristaltic essentially because the only time I'm running it very gentle when I'm putting wine through it. What was happening was I was using the spray ball that we do have, and it was just it can just push too hard for it.
Right.
So I went back to our impeller.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, I like the idea of, the full true clean and place system. So you're just going to have to find, and I would look on Amazon if you could, to first find another plug. Amazon, hook us up.
Yep, he's on my speed dial lately.
So, to go from tri-clamp to a flare fit, and hopefully, like, I don't know what size the flare connection is on your pump over system, but
Yeah, I'm just going to do some research. I'm going to do this at work because that's where you do work. But I finished all my winemaking this week. I just have some cleaning to do tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow afternoon, I have to get 3 months worth of racks and bentonite ads and bricks measurements into the computer, and then I'm gonna start working on this.
Okay. The other thing you might want to do is put some sort of leash on it because you don't want to be accidentally dropping it into the tank.
Well, I'm hoping whatever I buy is going to be more fixed position,
Right, but it's going to be something you have to move from tank to tank to tank to tank.
Yeah.
And so you need some sort of safety leash so that when you either connect it to the outside pipe and then you screw it on with the flare fitting before, because if the threads don't take with the flare fitting and you accidentally drop it, it's going to dent the bottom of the tank. So. Yeah,
that's actually a good idea.
Hey, I used to work in insurance. But and I mean, I do that. We have a leash for ours, especially when we go in through the top, because the Aqua Tools barrel head washer, that thing is not light. It weighs about 30 pounds.
Okay.
It's all 316 stainless, and it is a beast. So, but really, something you should look into. It'll change your life and your cleaning regime, and probably, possibly do a better job.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm getting to the point where I've got this kid working with me now. I mentioned him last time. He's doing a great job, but we're just doing way too much per day. And if we had this kind of option, we're soaked all day long, or at least he is. He finally got rubber boots today. I've been trying to encourage him to get pants that aren't jeans.
Oh yeah. Either
that was the best
some
thing
sort
I ever
of
did.
Yeah, I wear nylon pants with a slight bit of spandex because fashion.
Yep. The next plug I'll do is Walmart bought a pair of those Eddie Bauer what are they, Storm? Yeah.
Yeah,
Eddie Bauer style pants.
Yeah, or that.
They're $21,
pants.
and I'm wearing them now, and they're great. They dry really fast. They're stretchier than the Eddie Bauer ones, which I like.
Yep.
And they dry really quick.
Those are great. They're great pants for the really wet operations. I have ponchos here, the ones we used at our brother's bachelor party.
Oh,
yeah. And then
I wore those pants. I wore the pants at his party too.
Yeah.
Like it.
And then the other thing that we have some suspender pants that are for marine work that are pretty good for that kind of stuff when you're getting really wet. But yeah, I mean it'll change your life, especially being able to run a hot power washer system inside your tank. It just knocks you turn the glycol units off, or you turn your temperature off, and you just go in there and you hit that thing and it blows everything off. It's awesome. So.
Yep.
And it's made us more efficient. I mean, we can just go from tank to tank to tank.
Well, that's what I'm trying to work on, because the one thing we're doing now that we're going through so much water and so much sanitizer each day, because our system is for small scale it worked great when you're cleaning one tank a day.
Yeah.
When you're moving half your building, so we had to clean 4 5600s today. And 3 19s.
Wow.
And that's like, we have, what do we have now? We have 12 5600s and 8 19s.
Man,
now.
You guys are getting big. Well, I'll stop by and see you. When are you leaving for Thanksgiving to go home?
I'll be leaving Friday night with Nikki. Yeah.
Oh, of the week prior?
Yeah.
Okay. So Friday of next week? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday of next week. Okay. Well, I won't be home till Wednesday of next week, but I want to stop in and see your edition because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, when we go home for Christmas, maybe we can do the same thing we did last time.
Yep. What do you guys have a power washer or do you not?
No, we don't. Not the one we use, or not one that we use for winemaking, really.
Okay.
Is yours gas powered or electric?
Electric.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's electric, and then it's really good. It's the best one I've ever used. We've used Karcher before, which had their own diesel built-in hot water, which was awesome, except that it was diesel hot water. But I wasn't working in a closed-room facility at that time. All of our power washing was done outside on a crush pad, so it wasn't a big deal. But this one, we have
a covered crush pad now, Michael. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
But we do all our crushing inside.
I bet. So. Yeah, the covered crush pad, really nice, and you can press in the rain, which is.
Yeah, makes a big difference. No,
lately
weather doesn't hold you up.
Yeah, lately has been an issue.
Yeah. So let's see. Quick connects with the power washer, man. We have a big hot water heater. I think it's 100-gallon hot water heater. Which, I just hooked that up to our power washer, which apparently is rated for 140, our power washer, but the seals seem to be okay for hotter water. And it gets it done.
Yeah, I'm probably, my plan would be just to clean with the hot water from our hot water heater, which it's 140 when it comes out the tap, but by the time it goes through a hose and lands in the bottom of the tank, I'm only at like 110 according to my temperature gauges.
All right. Well, if you want, I mean,
Well, we can talk more about this off air.
All right.
Tell me about the wines you're making.
Talking their ears off about cleaning. But hey, cleaning's the most important thing in winemaking.
If a winemaker comes across this podcast and they hear this, they'll be like, "Oh, these are some great ideas."
Yeah. Well, it took me about a month to realize that we should be using that barrel washer to clean our tanks. I was like, what am I doing climbing in this thing? I was like, this is dumb. I've got this monster power washer head, and then boom, I just started using it. And,
it took me 4 years to get there. This is dumb.
Our vineyard manager came in, and he was like, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm power washing the tank. He's like, oh my God, that's freaking genius. He's like, we've been doing it like this forever. Why didn't we think of this? And I was like, I have no idea, but I'm glad I did. So today, you were asking what I was doing. Today I was disgorging sparkling.
Cool.
We have a sparkling rosé that was basically our Saniers from last year. Cabernet Sauvignon, a touch of Petit Verdot, and Merlot Saunier.
Awesome.
And we made it into a wonderful rosé, and then we sparkled. We were doing sparkling with it, so it's all hand disgorged. So right now everything is in crown cap with the yeast in bottle, and it's been sitting there for like 8 months now at this point, and so all the pressure is inside the bottle, and we have to get that yeast out. So basically, I just grab the bottle. It's put, we put it in an ice bath. We freeze the tips, and then I uncap them and shoot the yeast out.
Do you have that special tool so you can do it away from you?
What special tool?
Oh man, I'll send you.
I just use a beer. I have a really awesome beer can opener. That's what I use.
No, Michael. The French. We ordered one when I was in college, and I was doing my Blanc de Noir, and the way that it works is you hold it like you'd be pulling a draft beer cap, or a draft beer tap. Right. What a bartender would pull.
Yeah.
And it's that motion, but you're holding the bottle away from you. Okay. And then it pops it out into whatever container. The plug pops out, and then you just top.
Do you get your thumb over it? I'll show you tonight.
What?
You get your thumb over it?
No thumb. It's all away from you. It's like one quick motion.
Yeah, but how does it keep the rest of the stuff? Is the bottle upside down?
No, the bottle, you're holding the bottle at like a 45-degree angle away from you.
Right. Yeah. Neck down.
And then the thing plants on the bottle, and the whole apparatus is on your side of the bottle, and then you just kind of click it, and it pops it open. And I'm doing a terrible job describing this because it's like a interesting kind
Is
of.
the bottle neck down or neck up?
Neck up.
Now, see, ours are all neck down because we're using encapsulated yeast, and so in order to make that work, it all has to be neck down.
Will you
we don't get a
freeze
true plug. We don't get a true plug.
Oh, okay. Maybe I think this would still work. I'll send you a link. It's a really simple design. It just looks like a stick with a special little thing on it.
Okay. So anyway, we shoot the yeast into a bucket, and then I pass it down the line, and someone tops it, and someone else does liquor d'expedition, and then we cork it and wire it, all done by hand, pretty much. You know, we've got a hand corker, floor corker, and floor wiring apparatus. And we were doing it like not many cases at a time because it's so labor intensive, but recently we stepped up our game and dedicated an entire day to our sparkling disgorging program, so we're banging it out a lot more.
Yeah. How are you sweetening it at all?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so that I just
mostly I think to as much as like the longer it sits in the bottle post, the more pressure it builds because some of that sweetness does get re-fermented. So
yeah.
But it's pretty unique. I mean, each bottle kind of had its own character because it's all being done by hand. So
I racked our rosé today as well, which is I was on the bench tonight, and it was Chamberson, Cab Sauv, Merlot. Cab Sauv, Merlot, and Cab Franc.
Wow. So
the large majority was Franc and Chamberson.
Okay.
And Sauv this year actually, because we Seigneur Sauv quite a bit. It's so funny, the Chamberson, when you bentonite it, it's like it looks like it's hot pink.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Like you would, when you do this stuff and it leaks out onto the ground after you clean the tank or whatever, you look at it and you say, I can't believe this color exists in nature. You know?
Yeah. And I racked our Vignoles.
Okay.
Which that was the bulk of our day. We make a lot of that, and we make another thing out of it, and it fermented great, and it's a great grape in my opinion.
Yeah, yesterday was our big racking day. Oh, and the day before. We've been racking like crazy. But we went into the cold room and we just went through everything that had finished fermentation. So we started with a Sauv Blanc, then we went to a Riesling, then we did 4 rosés, different types. And that pretty much concluded the day for us. And yeah, but it just keeps happening. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more lots to rack, and then we're done with our first racking.
Wow.
But
where you're making 50 lots or whatever, I'm making, I think we make 19 wines. But we're just making more and more of them each year.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys are growing so well, and I can't wait to see the addition. And if you want, like if you need some outside pressure, I'll gladly start underground sending your bosses links to these tools. I'll be like, you know what has made my life way better? This.
No, I talked to Larry today, and he's been really busy with the expansion, and he's running the kitchen and all the and it's, he's a lot more removed from the winemaking lately. So I mentioned this to him, and he's like, "Tell me what you need. Write me up a list. We'll order it tomorrow."
That's
So I'm like,
exactly
okay.
what you need to hear. That's exactly what you want to hear.
Yeah, he was really responsive to it. He's like, yeah, it's a great idea. We'll do some tests. Or I said, we'll do some tests and see how effective we're being with this new system. And he's like, yeah, I mean, mechanical's probably the way to go. So.
Okay. Great, man.
So,
Well, yeah, I'll send you a video and some pictures tomorrow of what our deal does. And
yeah, I'll send you a picture of this little tool I'm talking about. It might make your life easier.
Okay. And some, as far as barrel cleaning goes, it changes your life there too. I mean, you'll never blast tartrates out of a barrel like this thing does. It's awesome. So, cool.
Yepper.
All right. Did you had a specific educational series that you wanted to work on today, or are we?
Well,
bypassing
yeah, I
that?
thought we would introduce a new segment, and I didn't know if we were wrapping up, but now I'm right back in the game. So I was thinking we would talk about high acid whites, and the region that I think of mostly is, Alsace would be a place where a lot of these come from,
Some
and
of my
the Finger
favorite
Lakes.
aromatic whites come from Alsace.
And the Finger Lakes is kind of a derivative of that in many ways.
Right.
And what's that?
I said, right.
And I just thought we would talk about how do you handle one? I would start with Riesling.
When it comes in the door.
That's what I know. Well, first I take the foil off, and no,
Go ahead.
I was just saying the largest experience I have with aromatic whites would be Riesling and the high acid aromatic whites. I also I have some experience with Gewürztraminer, but that's from a distance.
Yeah, that is one. I've only worked with Gewürz once or twice, and it was in California, so it's not exactly the high acid white that it would be working with it on the East Coast. Same with Torrentice, also was West Coast. But I do have East Coast Sauv Blanc experience and East Coast Riesling experience too. And this year I have a Riesling that has particularly high acid, so I'm going to be doing everything I can to try and curb the amount of acid in this thing just to get it more palatable.
Would your technique for that be like blending, or would you just cold crack and?
I'll probably cold crack it. I'm definitely gonna see how much I can drop with cold stabilization. In my experience, cold stab I can drop between a quarter to 0.4 0.4 of a gram out.
Yeah.
Sometimes more. It depends how cold. I don't know. We just built a new cold room, and I don't know what the cold capabilities will be. And also, I don't know what the winter's like. If the winter is brutal, I could just open the door to the cold room and let it do its thing. But I'll do some bench trials through cold cracking and also see what I can do. I've used potassium carbonate before and calcium carbonate, but in my what I've read is you can only use up to one. I think it's 1 gram per liter before the wine starts tasting salty. But those will help precipitate acid. You blend that in and then you get it cold, or you get it cold and then you blend it in. Either way, it'll bind with tartrates and pull them out. But you're going to see a pretty drastic increase in your pH. So it's something you really need to be careful with and find the balancing point. Gotcha. Luckily, the Riesling I have this year, the pH is 3.19, so I can move a little bit and get it to where it needs to be.
Yeah, that's low, but
yeah, absolutely.
Well,
it's nice from a biologically stable standpoint, right?
No, it's great for that. Is that
no
is
sulfite needed.
Are you
ppm.
going to be sweetening this at all?
That's up to the client. I'm going to have to talk to them about it.
Okay.
I'll talk to them and see what they want to do. Last year, I think we were about a 0.5% RS for them.
Will you use that enzyme that you told me about? The one that releases terpenes?
Beta gluconidase?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah. Especially this year because we had to capitalize, and my hunch is that that capitalization, it really, most of the aromatics, or a lot of the aromatics, bound up with that sugar. So I'm hoping that by using the beta gluconidase, we'll see a release of those aromatics that might not be as expressive right now. I've used it on most of our whites this year, Sauv Blanc, Gruner, and Pinot Gris, and only time will tell. So, but I'll try anything. I'll try anything for a better nose. I'll do anything for a better nose. So.
No, I don't blame you. The one thing I would like to do for a better nose is stop using cross evolution, but I'm gonna have to use it one more time this year for our Riesling.
Never again, dude. I hate that yeast. I don't know if it's just slow to get started or what. It's not cold hardy, but I've had more stuck fermentations or fermentations that didn't even take is actually better descriptor with that.
I'm going to treat it like a restart yeast, and I'm just going to really, really baby it when I
Try upping your dosage too. I mean, it says 25 grams per hectoliter, just like every yeast, but treat it like it's an infected wine and maybe bring it up to 35 or 40 grams per hectoliter, like a 400 ppm dose, and maybe we'll have better luck. Maybe it just doesn't do a good job out competing. I have no idea, but I told you the first year it was recommended to me, and I used it on 3 of 8 barrels of Chardonnay, and all 3 of them didn't go. And I had to come back. The first year
I used it, it worked great. I had no problems.
Yeah, I got a guy up the street, a winemaking friend, who loves it. He's like, oh, I've never had any problems with it. So I have no idea why it wouldn't take for me.
It's probably a genetic thing. Doesn't like us.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, right? It's our genetics, not the yeast. That's awesome.
That's what I was hinting at. I didn't know if you got it.
I got it. I will tell you for barrel Chardonnay, I may have mentioned this on our last discussion. CY3079, amazing yeast. I was so happy with that yeast this year.
Okay.
So give it a shot if you get a chance. I don't know what your abilities are to or if you even want to do this because it's such a pain in the tail. But if you break it out a little bit and use another yeast or another 2 yeasts by breaking it into a couple of different tanks, to see which one is more expressive for you.
I've ordered plenty of Vin 13.
Good. Vin 13 I've used on Riesling and it's good.
If this fermentation goes south, we're
okay, good. Vin 13, X5, VL3, all really good aromatics. QA23, I found a little bit of bitterness in the finish with that one compared to the other ones.
What I do love to do with Riesling, though, and other varieties like this, is I find that if you, the cold, drawn-out fermentation.
How cold are we talking?
I'm thinking, 59.
No, really? I go mine way colder than that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
You'll see my tanks are set to 50.3, 51.3.
Really? Okay. Yep. I've never gone that cold. I think I might be a little scared too.
Slow. It's slow. I'm not going to lie, but it's something you can completely control. Up front, you're going to want to be gassing the headspace of your tank until it really catches. But then you get that nice shimmer, and it goes, but it can be really slow. Vin 13 will move like crazy at that temperature. At 59, it would go like gangbusters, but you can really control it in the 52, 53 degree range.
With cross evolution, I would be I'm not worried about
Evo,
that.
I don't know what the working temps are for that. They say it handles cold really well, but my idea of cold and other people's idea of cold are not.
But you find that the colder fermentation you get positive attributes from something that cold?
Yeah, I've had really
Yeah.
good luck with it. For Vin 13, I mean, really tropical stuff. Um, yeah, and I haven't. It's not like the yeast has struggled or I'm left with RS in the end. Generally,
Yeah.
around three bricks, I'll just shut the chiller off at that point and let it coast.
Yeah, that's what we do.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be the one pain in the tail about having the juice that cold is upon inoculation because trying to get that
Yeah.
10 degree C gradient takes a lot of attemperations. I mean, I'm breaking it out into 4 buckets before I can pitch it. So but
Yeah.
something to think about. Something you can get it started and then kick it down. But take your measurements if you have time to take them daily and see if it's moving, a half brick to 1 a day, and that's usually a good spot to get
Now,
a nice,
you said
like,
you're
21
working
day
with
fermentation.
a 21 day from. Is that what you just said? 21
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Now, you said you're working with Pinot Gris this year as well.
Yeah, we have
Another Alsatian variety.
an acre of Pinot Gris. So it's the first grape to come in every year. The skins are really thin, the benches are really tight,
Yeah.
and we bring it in first every year.
Just like Pinot Noir, because it is Pinot Noir technically.
Right. When you look at it, it's really interesting because last year the skins didn't go very dark, and this year they were incredibly dark. It was interesting.
The Frontenac Gris was dark skinned this year, but
Yeah.
it's my first year growing any Frontenac Gris grapes, so I'll see if that is consistent. But
So
and now
with a Pinot Gris, I used a really neutral yeast last year upon recommendation. It was my first time working with it, and the grape, it was somewhat muted. I mean, the idea was, okay, stir up the lees, get it to have a lot of lees attribute. And, I mean, to me that's all well and good, but I kind of wanted to see what I could coax out of it this year. So I used Vin 13, and I did get nice tropical fruit. There's a lot of guava expression in it, and now I'll just keep working the leaves back up into solution to get that effect as well. So that at least maybe I'll have a lot of fruit and leaves integration instead of just having the leaves aspect of it.
do you do any of this in oak?
I do not.
No.
Something
Okay.
I would have liked to try though.
Yeah.
I've got
I
enough
know.
white oak barrels that I could pull a couple out just to play around, especially even to get weight in the mid palate. It's amazing what kind of thickness you can get by doing an oak fermentation.
I topped our Chardonnay this week, and I walked past one of the barrels today, and I looked at the top of it, and the bung had popped out and was just resting on top of it.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, I hate that too. But I'm like checking, every 15 minutes, it feels like, with all my barrels that I fill.
Yeah.
Because I took out the fermentation bungs on the Chard because I'm pretty sure it's done with mallow, and I'm gonna send it out to a lab to confirm that because I don't have in-house testing.
Yeah, I'm gonna run chromatography tomorrow on all of the ones that still are going through malolactic. Two of our reds are Malbec and our Merlot. Those are through, and I've already sulfited and barreled down the Merlot. The Malbec, I'm doing some pH work to it, so I'm still waiting to sulfite that one until I get the pH in a good range for sulfite. But
I'm almost at this stage in the game. I am almost to the point where I would love to be able to test this in-house and just know immediately, or just to see a trend at least for the mallow.
Well,
but
I mean, you've been able to use those tests, right?
Yeah, I've used them. It was, it's funny. I used it, but I looked at it and I was like, is it this side of it or is it on this side of it? Because I'd never seen it before.
Mm-hmm. Do you have chromatography?
No, we don't, unfortunately.
So those kits are not very expensive either. They won't tell you quantity, but at least they'll give you a good idea if you see a spot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't send our stuff out to a lab. As soon as I'm not showing any malic on the chromatography, I'm like, that's good enough for us, and I'll sulfite it. I'll sulfite it.
I'm thinking that what I'm gonna generally do is use those strips and then just start sulfiting things.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to be safe and get it sulfited, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that. I would just rather they smell buttery.
If the sulfites, yeah, well that's great, man. If they
well,
smell
that was
buttery,
my point. So anyways, the thing had popped off just a tad, and I stuck my nose in it, and I was like, "Oh my god, it smells like buttery oak and like a little bit of banana," and it was just smelled delicious.
Nice butter banana bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
The DV10 we use for that is just heavy on the isoamyl acetate. That kind of banana type note. I really
DV10
like the shards
is
they
an
make.
awesome barrel fermentation yeast.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm a fan.
I told you I did really well with that one that went to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And it was just, I knew the wine was good. I was just overjoyed that it got a gold, but I knew the wine was good.
Our barrel reserve consistently year after year does well.
Mm-hmm.
And
the one thing I've been struggling with is getting a good malolactic culture to give us good diacetyl expression. One that will handle cooler temperatures. I think that's our biggest challenge, right? Our winery is cold.
Yeah.
It's very cold, and ideal malolactic temperatures are in the early 70s, 71, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, and our winery is a far cry from that. So I tried several different malolactic cultures last year, and some of them worked, and some of them just crept and barely moved. So this year I said no more. I pulled everything out of oak. It went into a tank. I heated the tank up, and I inoculated with a mallet culture. And so now it should be done. I'm going to pull everything back out to oak and top it. Done.
That's cool. That's a good idea. Here's a question for you. As a winemaker and eventually a winery owner and
this sounds like it's going to be a really hard question. Go on.
A business person, do you think a customer base, depending on which customer base obviously, but like let's say you've got 1,100 people in your wine club, how much experimenting would you want to be doing from year to year to year?
Ooh,
do you think you have your mainstays and then you have the few kind of things, or you think it's every year we're doing something different?
I don't know. See, I'm always in the mood to experiment and try and make a better product, but I understand that people join your wine club for specific products.
Yeah.
And you want to deliver that to them, a consistent product year after year, right?
Our barrel reserve, I think, it has it's cult following.
I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, you don't know that. You're not in our wine club.
Oh, it has a cult following. That's what you said. I was like, it's called following. That's interesting.
No, it's got there are a bunch of people who come in and they like our Chardonnays and they expect, they vary from year to year naturally.
Right.
But
you have a program that works and you guys stick to it, and there's an expectation from your client base that it's going to be similar.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to gauge is like when is it stagnated and when is it,
when does it stifle your creativity, and when are you feeling like you're boxed in, and when?
Well, it's not even that. Like I mean, personally, I love every year of winemaking. For me, it's great. It's got its own challenges, and
right.
Things change in the winery every year for me to try to create this. A similar thing,
Right.
So, last year, we had, it was oakier than it normally was, our barrel reserve.
Okay.
So this year, we're just going to pull it a little earlier to get it a little more, it's just like little variations like that are exciting to me, but they're, for a customer,
Yeah.
they don't see
Does your customer
everything,
know it?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I think if I had my own winery and I had that many wine club members, which, wow, that would be a dream.
We've got more than, I just threw out a number there. I'm not going to.
If I have 1,000 wine club members, I'm going to want to try one thing new each year, something that wasn't on our tasting sheet or a technique that wasn't in there, and then I'd be like, all right, so this year we made this lot of blah blah blah. There's only 100 cases of it. That's 1,200 bottles. Our wine club members. This is only offered to our wine club members. This is what we did with it. This is why it's different. This is a new varietal for us, etc. We used Barrique Integral on this only, and blah blah blah, or carbonic maceration. Any new technique that I would want to try, just to challenge myself as a winemaker, see if it's something I like, and if it will go into a program, and then see how well it's received by our wine club members, and then if it is, I might roll it into the direct program.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a little of that this year. I'm excited because we've got Sauvignon Blanc, which we don't normally make, which I'm excited to work with. And we're throwing around the idea of doing a reserve vignole where we take out a vignole from a certain vineyard, our vineyard specifically.
Okay.
And we label it estate, and we bottle it with a little less sugar. A lot less sugar, actually, is what I'm hoping. So it just kind of softens the acid, but it's not sweet,
Right, to balance, not to sweet.
When I had Mom to our winery, and she tasted the vignole, and vignole, it's like TA of like 9 probably. Or it might not be 9. I don't know.
It depends on the year.
It depends on the year, but she tasted it out of the tank, and we had a great year that year, and it's just really aromatic, super high acid, and she loved it. Like, she was like, I don't normally drink whites, but I love this.
Yeah.
And it's just because she's a red wine drinker, and it had some chutzpah.
Yeah, I mean, you find that people that aren't into whites, when you give them an aromatic white, it blows their hair back. They're like, oh my god, this is so great. So I'm always trending for more aromatic whites, and Chardonnay, when it's barrel fermented, can be quite aromatic as well. No, it's not a tropical fruit bomb usually, but it has a very interesting and unique nose.
I didn't really start drinking a lot of Chardonnay till I started making a lot of Chardonnay. I mean, not that it's like my go-to now.
Well, I would say that our area, like the East Coast, the Mid-Atlantic, our Chardonnays are top-notch. I mean, they're not typical of a California buttery Chardonnay.
Well, and we hold our acids.
Yeah, they have a pretty they have a character that makes them a wonderful, wonderful wine.
If you drink a lot of Burgundy,
they're kind of in their own image, and it's kind of a unique type of Chardonnay.
Well, if you drink a lot of Burgundy, I think you appreciate East Coast Chards more.
Yeah, well, I think here's the weird thing. In California, Chardonnay, people love Chardonnay this, Chardonnay that, Cougar juice, etc. When you come over here, people are all, Chardonnay's all played out. Oh, we don't drink Chardonnay. Chardonnay is for, Chardonnay is a California Chardonnay. That's all they can think of. But these are pretty unique wines, and I wish people wouldn't have a preconception when they came in the door of what an oaked Chardonnay tastes like.
Yeah. I think a lot of people...
I don't drink Chardonnay. I mean, you have people who are like, I only drink Sauv Blanc. I don't drink Chardonnay. Well, I think the Chardonnays from this area of the country are kind of middle of the road. They have some qualities of a Sauv Blanc, as well as those qualities of a wonderful balanced Chardonnay. So.
No, I'm on board with that statement. When I pour our Chardonnay for people who drink higher end wines and they're not Chardonnay fans, lots of times they enjoy it.
Yeah,
I would say
over.
I've won a number of people over I can think of off the top of my head who said I don't like Chardonnay or I don't drink white wine, and I poured them our barrel reserve and they're like, Well, I don't drink most Chardonnay, but I like this.
Yeah, makes you feel
Which
good
is always,
too.
I mean, as a winemaker, that's fun to hear.
Yeah. Yep.
We had a little tasting at our winery this week, and I was for a financial planner, and he brought a bunch of his clients in, and somebody was, saying, he was a wine drinker, and he's like, Jersey wines, I'm not really sure about them, and we poured him our portfolio, and he was really blown away by the end of it. He's like, wow. He was in the service, and he had served over in France, so he was stationed in France for a bit, so he had experienced a lot of great European wines, and he was raving by the end of the tasting, which was really nice to hear
That's
about.
awesome, man. It's nice to win people over. Yep.
Yep.
Cool dude.
I mean, that's the name of the game, winning people over and making people enjoy what you're making.
Exactly.
Or hoping people enjoy what you're making.
Always. All right, man.
All right. I'm at the tail end of it tonight.
Me too. All right.
All
So
right.
thank you for listening. It's
Thank
been a
you
pleasure.
for listening. I'm
Instagram,
John.
Twitter, all that stuff. Say it again.
I was going to say, I'm John.
I'm Michael.
And thank you again. Have a nice evening.
Yep. Bye. Well,
Bye.
what if they're listening in the morning?